Hey, welcome to an episode of Random American. Today we're making a mask for this here axe. Technically it's not for this axe, it's for my buddy's axe that we just reprofiled, but I didn't get my leather done in time to make a mask for him. So that's what we're doing today. Out of this here piece of this here deer hide that I tanned myself, and you can tell. So let's get into it. Okay, so I'm using this here axe because obviously he has his, and he's a big fan of it, and he's using the hell out of it. So it's not like I'm going to go and ask him, hey man, can I get that to finish up your Christmas present, by the way? So this is the same basic pattern. His is a little bit longer than mine, and you know, that's fine. But overall, for how I'm going to do this should match up pretty well, and there shouldn't be too much issue. I'm going to leave a little bit of room for adjustability. My idea is how the Liam Hoffman masks work, except I'm taking a slightly different approach because I didn't get snaps or Chicago screws, because that's not how I wanted to do it. But instead of having a button snap on here, I'm actually going to have it fold over and then have a buckle on it. And I think that'll turn out pretty good. And I'm not going to put any holes in it, so he can put it on, get it as tight as he wants, put a hole in there, voila, fits his axe. Because obviously this won't fit this one. So let's go ahead and start on the basics of what I have to even do this project and how I plan on going about it. Keep in mind, this is my first time doing leather. Well, second time kind of doing leather work. So yeah, let's get into it. First and foremost is the leather or hide. This one I did fully tan. I have one more that I should have already finished, but I'll get to that here tomorrow probably. And if that one turns out okay, then I'll do a video on that process. Very interesting. So I have the leather. I have some rags for various reasons. I have some dye. I'm going to go with black. Yes, I know it'll be easy to lose, but it'll also look cool. So, and if he needs another one, I'll just make another one. I don't care. And I have gloves to keep my pasty hands pasty. Also, I have the buckle, and I know it doesn't look like what you think because I was at the hardware store and they didn't have buckles, so I got me a dog collar for like $3 or $2 or whatever it was, which would be cheaper than me going somewhere and buying one and burning $4 a gallon diesel, or ordering one and spending $4 in shipping anyways. So I don't think he'll mind much. I already told him I was doing it. He thought it was hilarious. So those are my basic ingredients. Oh yeah, the tools. Might need those. So the tools, other than me, is some thread. I got all this stuff off of Amazon. You can pick which flavor you want. This is a burnishing tool. Oh yeah, I got burnishing cream. It's also black. We'll go over how that works. Never done it before. We'll figure it out. This is a edge marker. I'm pretty sure this is the lineup for where you're going to put your holes. These are your hole punches. Got several different sizes. I mean, we got a plethora of stuff. Needles, that probably helps. A whole bunch of stuff that I've never used before, and we're going to figure it out together. So, now that we have all of the stuff, let's go ahead and bring you on in, and we're going to start marking and cutting and screwing it up. Alrighty, so this is the best that I can figure out as far as a camera angle for this. Take my hat off just in case it gets in the way. And we're going to be probably wasting more than we should, But again, I don't actually understand how to do this, so let's get after it. First things last is I'm going to make sure, I'm going to set this out wide. I will make sure that I have more than enough room. It leaves a little bit of a mark. And again, okay, this is a kind of an interesting little leather knife, whatever, for being a cheap Amazon purchase. This thing works pretty good. And we're going to cut way too much over here. Yeah. Oh, using my left hand is not a good idea. We'll just cut this straight back. So you can kind of see what I'm going for here. Man, I probably should have cut more. I thought I was giving it way too much whenever I did that. So, have you ever messed up something so many times that you start getting good at it? Well, that's what I've done, because I messed this one up because it's not big enough, so I laid this down for a pattern. You know, nice, neat little pattern. I made my little extension here, and it's backwards. You see, it's backwards. So now I have to cut a third one. It's all right. I can use this stuff for stuff. It's okay. It's just a day, you know. So we're going to pitter patter and get right at her. And I don't know what I have and haven't explained, so I'm going to go ahead and explain everything. I basically just laid my axe down. I was looking for a pencil, and I lost my patience. So I used the silver Sharpie to trace that out. And I took this little thingamadoohickey, and I run her right along there, kind of halfway marked it, and cut that out. Whenever I cut that out, I got these and folded them over my axe on both sides to where it comes together, you know, kind of like that, how I want it. And I had her flipped over, I traced it, and I cut that out, which gave me this pattern. And then I realized, oh wait, that much of the blade or the bit is going to be showing. I am not doing that. Not for his axe. I'll do it for one of mine. It'll be perfectly fine. So I went and cut this out, made an extension tag here that's going to be way too big, which is perfect. And then, you know, it's not the right it's not the right way. So I'm going to make an opposite copy of this right here with some help of this right here. So I'm going to take my fun dunny little Sharpie right here. I'm going to go ahead and cut this stuff out. I'll do it using this pattern because this pattern is the correct one. Good enough for government work. Get my practice pieces, set them over here, and get my knife, which to this point you haven't seen me use, but this thing's actually pretty sharp. I've used it a bunch now, and it might be getting a little bit of a roll right there from me being not so nice to it. But you know, it cuts leather pretty good. Let's see if I can lay this perfectly. Moving the leather is easier. I mean, that's pretty close. Oh, yeah! I'm going to go ahead and mark that. So it's going to get tilted this way some, which is good because I cut that a little bit lean. That will work out pretty good. I like that. See guys, practice just makes perfect. That's all I'm doing. I'm going for perfection here. This is a lot of test fitting, and I understand this is kind of boring, but this is just the process of me figuring it out by myself. And I should really get that fire going a little bit hotter. Trim just a tickle off of that. Okay, now we need a welt to fit in there. I had, or have this. Is that gonna work correctly? Maybe I'm gonna have to stretch it around just a little bit. Or I could just do this, you know. Yep, and you can see exactly where I needed to trim from. I'm just gonna take my pocket knife for this one, because it is ridiculously sharp. Get this folded over. Lined up the way it needs to be. That is stuck into the table now. Start poking us some holes. Oakley dokley. So we got that all punched for my stitching across the front. And if you don't believe me that the welt is very tough, that is holding its holes. Those are shrinking back. Yeah, that's like poking through wood and then some. So now that I have all of this done, I'll go ahead and prepare for the buckle system. Now, just so everybody's aware, they do make a device to cut strips of leather like this. It makes it really nice and clean and good looking, and yeah, I just don't have that. So, that's what we got. See if it fits through here. Oh, and it does, like it was made for it. Alright, so the only thing I know is a double stitch, and that was a quick tutorial from my dad. By quick tutorial, I mean it was like 3 seconds. And he said, well, that's about all I know about it. Thanks, Dad. So here I am doing the exact same thing that he told me. No idea if it's right. But anyway, double stitch. You have 2 needles, right? So I have one side pulled through, right? So then you just go through this other hole, right like that. Okay. Pull that one right there. Pull this one right here. Now this one I'm going to go back through this hole because I don't have the next one to go through. You'll just kind of get the gist from this first one, and you pull them in opposite directions, and that makes a clean stitch right there. And I'm hoping that I didn't just screw it up. That one will shove back through here, right? Pull back. And then that one shoved down through there. Alright. 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 Damn, I almost did it again. And pull. Okie dokie, so I have this stitched. It looks better on the outside than it does on the inside, which in this case, this is exactly what we're going for. So now I don't know how to actually tie what is supposed to be tied, so I'm just going to tie a couple of things and then cut it and then burn the ends. And you don't want to burn it too much because then, you know, you'll ruin it, but just enough. Okay, so just a little bit on it. You know, just tickle. Oh, that's whatever. Hopefully it's on the side that nobody's going to see. Now, I don't know if I was supposed to dye this before or after, but I'm going to go ahead and do it. I'll do it after I get it all together because I'll have to let it dry, I imagine. I think I'll go ahead and stitch up this bottom part first, because I can put this last little strap on just anytime I want to. Yeah, and then I'll do my final trimming, which that'll be fun. And I'll see you guys in just a second. I'm not going to make you sit through me doing that again for all of that, because that would suck. Okay, so the stitching on this is done. It looks horrible, but it's the best I could do. It fits the axe very nicely, as you can see. So the last step before dye and burnishing is this piece. I already have it cut out. I'm just going to do similar to what I did down here. Fancy little doodab or whatnot. And I'm going to just put it right about there. And that'll cause this to pull down a little bit more. Kind of like that. And yeah, I think it'll look pretty decent. If it doesn't, then he can send her back and I'll do something different. Oh, I just ruined the angle of that. I do not know how these guys do it. Making their patterns and all that, you know? Definitely gives me a new respect for them. Alright, so I'll go ahead and poke my 2 holes down here. And my 1 hole over here. Definitely need a strike plate because I am ruining this table. And I guess I'll get my pointy pokey with a handily. I'll just go ahead and poke that hole since I'm already here. Bam. We're good. Too far. Okay, so I'll get my 2 need lays. I think this one will do it. If not, it's going to. Need lay 1. Need lay 2. I am on the struggle bus. Oh well. Alright, now we're doing stuff. Go back through here. Damn. Pulled too hard. Oh well, it'll be alright. Come back into here. Back around. There we go, those are tight now. Come down here for a long stitch. I won't pull this one quite as tightly, because then it'll just scrunch this up, but it'll still be taut. And then back up here to form a little triangle. Without stabbing myself. Oh, okay. And then I will go back down, or back through here, and I'll tie this off on the inside. Alrighty. So, got this done. This cut out. Just a little, kind of like you're burning 550 cord. Alrighty, so other than it being a disaster, it's done. If that don't do it for him, I don't know. Because this is as good as my work is going to get. I promise you that. That'll give me an idea of where to trim. So I'm going to go ahead and trim this edge up right here. I might trim this around over here. Kind of like, well, I guess Lee and Hawkins don't do it. They just use thicker leather and that stays down. But I might trim this around. Yeah, I might trim that around. Right here, just to keep that corner from popping up like that a lot. And I might trim some of this off. And we'll get to dye, right? Alright, so here we go. We have the completed, mostly, project. I got it trimmed up as best I'm going to be able. We're going to see how it dies. How it dies. Woo. I don't know how to apply this. I didn't read any instructions. So we're going to figure it out together. Ooh, it does look good. Apparently 2 coats need to go on. Oh, that is turning out better than I had hoped. Because this looked terrible before. And I have zero idea how long this takes to dry. Just so we're all on the same page here. And there we have it. It is dyed. I don't know how long this is going to take to dry, but if I can get to it right now, I'll go ahead and burnish these ends. And I'll see if I can show you that. Oh, missed a spot. See if I can show you that process. Okay, so I cheated and I tested a little bit. This is burnishing gum. And since I have gloves on, I'm going to get just a little bit of this, and I'm going to put it up here on this edge. You're supposed to use a brush, but what do they know? Just the people that designed it, you know? Then you get this little thingamadoo-blobby here, and you just run her back and forth on it. And I'm pretty sure what it's supposed to do is seal the end of this. I'm also 100% sure that you're supposed to wait until this dye is dried. I'm not doing any of those steps. So, we're going to call that good. I'm going to risk staining up my axe because this, I know for a fact, isn't dry yet. And as it dries, it loses some of that weird, shiny whatever to it. But at least it doesn't look half bad, you know? I mean, I'm happy with it. I don't know if you guys are or not. So let's close this here video out and see if I can get this thing posted today. Alrighty, so that's going to wrap us up for the end of this one. I'm pretty happy with how this thing turned out. I should be seeing him tomorrow so I can get it over to him. And hopefully get it, you know, test fitted on the axe and it works. Because that'd kind of suck if it doesn't. And I'll get it dried out. I got this cut down as far as I can to make it palatable for you guys. If you needed any more, if you have any more questions for me, just go ahead and ask. I doubt I can answer them because you've seen the extent of my talent so far with this. But, you know, I really appreciate it, and I really appreciate my stupid-ass friends that give me some views on this. You know who you are. Thank you. And that's all I got for you. You guys have a wonderful day, and I'll see you on the next one.